Have you ever imagined the Vikings as wild raiders with no rules? Most people picture them as fierce warriors plundering villages without a second thought. But what if I told you that beneath this rugged exterior lay a society governed by intricate laws and codes of conduct? In this video, you'll uncover the surprising and complex legal framework that shaped Viking life. Get ready to explore how these crazy rules influenced their culture and what lessons we can learn from them today. Did you know that revenge was a legal right for Vikings? This concept was central to their social structure, and it's known as the law of the Blood Feud. In Viking culture, if someone was killed, the victim's family had the right to take revenge. This wasn't merely an act of violence. It was viewed as a way to restore honor and justice. Imagine living in a world where your family's reputation and safety depended on your ability to exact vengeance. This law established a cycle of violence that could spiral out of control, often leading to feuds between clans. However, these feuds weren't just chaotic. They were often settled through negotiation or compensation. This reveals a fascinating paradox. While revenge might seem primitive, it also created a sense of justice within the community. It encouraged families to uphold their honor, but it also meant they had to be strategic in how they dealt with disputes. What does this tell us about the Viking perspective on justice and honor? Now picture the Viking assembly known as the Thing. What if I told you that Vikings had a form of democracy? The Thing was where free men gathered to discuss laws and settle disputes. This wasn't just a gathering, it was an essential part of Viking governance. At the Thing, individuals could propose new laws or changes to existing ones, allowing for a collective voice in decision-making. This unique structure encouraged participation and accountability, setting a foundation for social order that many would not associate with the Viking image. Imagine a society where everyone had a say and decisions impacted the entire community. This aspect of Viking life not only shaped their governance, but also reinforced social bonds and responsibilities. How did this assembly shape the social structure of Viking society? It showed that while they were known for their raiding, they also valued dialogue and cooperation. The Vikings were more than just fierce warriors. They lived by a complex set of laws that revealed a sophisticated culture. As we continue, we'll dive deeper into how their rules of trading and marriage further defined their unique way of life, challenging our assumptions about who they were and how they lived. What if I told you that Vikings had a form of democracy? This might surprise you, but the Thing was an assembly where free men gathered to discuss laws and settle disputes. Imagine a vibrant gathering of community members, all coming together to voice their opinions and influence the laws that governed their lives. At the Thing, everyone had a say, and decisions were made collectively. This structure not only allowed for participation, but also instilled a sense of accountability among the members of Viking society. The Thing wasn't just about making decisions, it was a vital social event. Families and clans would come together, creating bonds and fostering cooperation. It served as a platform where grievances could be aired and resolutions could be reached without resorting to violence. Picture a setting where discussions about justice and community welfare took center stage, and the community's voice was genuinely heard. This unique form of governance reflected the Vikings' deep-rooted belief in collective responsibility. What's fascinating is that the decisions made at the Thing had far-reaching implications. For instance, they could propose new laws or modifications to existing ones, allowing the legal system to evolve with the needs of society. This adaptability ensured that Viking laws were relevant and reflective of the community's values. But how did this assembly shape the social structure of Viking society? By empowering free men to speak up, it encouraged active participation and developed a sense of unity among the clans. Decisions made here were binding, and this collective authority helped maintain order and stability in a culture often associated with chaos. However, this wasn't just about men. Women too had a significant influence, as their voices were sometimes heard in discussions surrounding marriage and family dynamics. So as we delve deeper into Viking life, think about how the Thing shaped their community and governance. This assembly is just one part of a fascinating legal tapestry that reveals the complexities of Viking society. Stay tuned as we explore more about the strict trading regulations and marriage laws that defined their culture, further challenging our preconceived notions of what it meant to be a Viking. Did you know that the Vikings had strict trade regulations? While many people picture them solely as fierce raiders, they were also skilled traders who navigated vast networks across Europe and beyond. This trading prowess was governed by a series of rules designed to ensure fair play and maintain order within their commercial dealings. Imagine bustling marketplaces where Vikings exchanged goods like furs, amber, and metalwork. These markets weren't just chaotic bartering spots. They operated under a code of conduct that emphasized fair pricing and accurate weight standards. If a trader cheated or misrepresented their goods, it could lead to serious consequences. Breaking these rules could result in fines or even exclusion from trading communities, a significant punishment considering the reliance on trade for survival and prosperity. What's fascinating is how these trade laws reflect the Vikings' view of commerce. They understood that fair trading practices were essential not just for individual gain, but for the health of their communities. This regulated trading environment fostered trust among traders, which was vital for sustaining long-distance trade routes. Without trust, the intricate web of Viking trade would unravel. Let's dive deeper into some specific rules that governed Viking trade. For instance, traders were often required to weigh their goods in public to ensure honesty in transactions. This practice not only protected buyers but also reinforced the reputation of the seller. If a trader was known for dishonest practices, they could quickly find themselves ostracized from the lucrative trading network. The Vikings also had rules around the types of goods that could be traded. Certain items, like weapons, were closely monitored, reflecting their importance in both trade and warfare. This control ensured that the wrong hands wouldn't obtain powerful weapons, maintaining balance and security within their society. How did these rules affect Viking society? The emphasis on fair trade and mutual respect not only built economic strength but also reinforced social ties. Traders often formed partnerships, establishing bonds that extended beyond simple transactions. These relationships fostered a sense of community and cooperation among different clans, emphasizing that the Viking way of life was not just about individual survival, but also about collective success. In understanding these trade regulations, we can appreciate the complexity of Viking culture. They weren't merely wild raiders. They were organized, strategic, and deeply aware of the implications of their economic practices. This insight invites us to rethink how we view Vikings and the societal structures they established, showcasing their sophisticated approach to trade and community relations. Stay tuned as we'll explore the fascinating dynamics of Viking marriage and family laws next, revealing even more about their unique social fabric. What if I told you that Viking marriages were often contractual? In the Viking Age, marriage was not merely a romantic union. It was a strategic alliance between families. These marriages were typically arranged, with careful negotiations about dowries and family alliances playing a significant role. This system was designed to strengthen familial ties and ensure the continuation of wealth and resources within the community. Viking women had notable rights in these marriages, which was quite different from many other contemporary cultures. They could divorce their husbands if the marriage turned sour, and they had the right to inherit property. This empowerment of women was revolutionary, challenging the notion of a purely patriarchal society. It showed that women played a critical role in the Viking social structure, holding positions of influence and power within their families. The arrangements of these marriages were not only practical, but also reflective of Viking values. For instance, loyalty and honor were essential, and the ability to form alliances through marriage was crucial for maintaining peace between clans. This practice often meant that marriages were more about community strength and personal affection. Imagine a Viking bride preparing for her wedding. She would wear traditional attire adorned with intricate designs symbolizing her family's heritage. As she walks down the aisle, surrounded by her community, it's clear that this union represents not just her personal choice, but a significant alliance that impacts the wider social fabric. Now let's delve deeper into how these marriage and family laws influenced women in Viking communities. Women were often seen as vital contributors to both the household and the broader society. They managed farms, supervised household staff, and were responsible for key economic activities such as textile production and food preparation. This involvement in managing their households showcased their importance and influence, which ran counter to the common stereotype of Viking women as mere subordinates. Moreover, these dynamics shaped how Viking men viewed women. A man's honor was often tied to how he treated his wife and family. The respect for women as equal partners in these familial and economic structures fostered an environment where both genders contributed to the community's success. As we consider these points, it becomes clear that Viking marriages were much more than personal unions. They were contracts that reinforced social norms and values. Now, this unique aspect of Viking culture invites us to rethink our understanding of gender roles in ancient societies and appreciate the sophisticated structures that existed. Up next, we'll explore how these marriage and family laws impacted the broader Viking society and how they resonate with contemporary discussions on gender equality. By the end of this video, you'll realize that Vikings were not just reckless warriors. They lived by a complex set of laws that shaped their society in profound way. Their understanding of justice was deeply rooted in practices like blood feuds, where revenge wasn't merely an act of violence, but a legally sanctioned response to injustice. This cycle of revenge taught us about the Viking perspective on honor, but it also revealed the darker sides of their culture. You've learned about the Thing assembly, where free men gathered to propose new laws and settle disputes. This wasn't just a gathering. It was a unique form of democracy that allowed everyone a voice, fostering accountability and community participation. It challenged the narrative of Vikings as mere raiders and showed them as a society that valued collective decision-making. In discussing trade, we've uncovered the Vikings' sophisticated economy. They were not only warriors, but also skilled traders who adhered to strict trade regulations. Fair pricing and weight standards weren't just good practices. They were vital for maintaining peace and cooperation among trading partners. This reveals how commerce played a crucial role in their society, proving that even the fiercest warriors recognized the importance of fair dealings. The marriage and family laws also shed light on the Viking way of life. The contractual nature of marriages meant that alliances were formed not just out of love, but for strategic purposes. Women in Viking society had rights that challenged the stereotypes of them as submissive figures. The ability to divorce and inherit property empowered women, showing that Viking culture was more nuanced than many might think. This deeper understanding of Viking culture invites you to reconsider historical historical narratives. Their sophisticated legal structures and societal norms reflected a community that was dynamic and complex. So, the next time you think about the Vikings, remember that they were not just a group of wild raiders. They were a people governed by intricate laws and codes of conduct that shaped their lives and legacies. As we wrap up this journey through Viking society, take a moment to reflect on what we can learn from them today. Their stories of governance, trade, family, and honor resonate with ongoing discussions about justice and gender roles in our world. Understanding their rules not only gives us insight into the past, but also challenges us to think critically about how we shape our societies today. If you enjoyed this epic journey, please subscribe to our channel for more thrilling historical tales. Don't miss out on new videos. Hit the notification bell to stay updated.